He'd worked his way up through a local firm, and Alan's guiding hand meant he could start his own business, take on jobs not just in the northeast but further afield. It meant that he could buy his first house for him and for his wife. Without Alan, he said, he just wouldn't have made it. He would have ended up, like too many young people in our country, denied the freedom to choose their own path. And that story is the story of education, of opportunity, of the change Labour brings, of government not as something to be feared, but to be welcomed, not something to be cleared out of our lives, but as a force for good, for each of us and for all of us. And our Labour government is our chance to show that our country, with its proud history, has a bright future too. A chance at last to turn our values, equality, fairness, social justice, into action. A chance to show that education means opportunity for each of us and for all of us. Because extending opportunity, above all, means spreading the freedoms that for too long were the privilege of the lucky few. That is my mission. It is our shared mission. The freedom to choose your own path in life. The freedom to succeed, whatever your background, whoever your parents, and wherever you are from. The freedom to do the work that you love. Freedom from ignorance. Freedom from poverty. Freedom from fear. The freedom to understand our culture and others. The freedom to spend time with your family and with your children. Because it is Labour, only Labour, that sees the role of government as empowering, as liberating. Those are our values, that is our socialism, and that is our dream. And conference, something else. It is only Labour that sees education, sees those opportunities as about the people of tomorrow, not just the workers of tomorrow. The artists and the scientists, the teachers and campaigners, the match goers and the museum goers, carers and parents, the activists, the volunteers, the voters. The Britain that we are building is a Britain rich for them, rich in every way and rich for their families. That is our vision and that is our dream. And conference, in a darkening world, I am proud that our Labour Party, the greatest vehicle for social justice this country has ever known, is in government and is delivering so much of that dream. And just look at what we have already achieved together. Free breakfast clubs rolling out across the country, hundreds of new school-based nurseries opening from this autumn, Best Start family hubs, reviving Sure Start for a new generation, and ended the tax breaks which private schools enjoyed. New technical excellence colleges open for learning, 30 hours free childcare for working parents, tackling top-up fees in our nurseries, thousands of new teachers recruited, the largest ever uplift in the early years pupil premium, turning the tide on school absence with 5 million more days at school last year, opening up access to tens of thousands more apprenticeships, proper pay rises for our teachers, 2 years running, promises made, promises kept, our values in action. And so much more for us to look forward to. Gender pay gap action plans coming soon. New rules to control the cost of school uniform so they make children smart, not poor. New controls on profiteering in children's social care where the market fails. And a new voice for school support staff through our path-breaking employment rights bill. And free school meals for another 500,000 children, the change that we are bringing so our children have a brighter future. Conference, this is what we have already done together, fixing the foundations, clearing up the mess that the Tories left behind. And we are moving to tackle the generational challenges in our system, supporting children with SEND to succeed, with fresh investment and new facilities, supporting their parents, their families, doing all that they can to get their best for their children with additional needs, while Reform tell them that their children are just badly behaved, that their parenting is poor. Turning the tide on how working class children do at school, because no one should be left behind because of their background. And when people tell me, as I'm sure they tell you, that there's not enough hope, not enough ambition, not enough vision, I say, come with me to a primary school. Come with me to a new breakfast club. Come with me to a nursery. See the light in children's eyes as Labour's choices light their world. See the relief in their parents' faces that they have at last a government driving down costs and on their side. See the way staff talk about having, after 14 long years, a government that backs them and trusts them. And last week, I was in Kettering, one of the seats that we won last year, visiting over 100 children at their free breakfast club. I saw the difference that we are making. Calmer classrooms, happier children, higher standards. Staff who see the change, parents who feel it, and children's life chances transformed. Conference, those little smiles don't just melt our hearts, they light the way. They remind us that in this country, the progress we are making, the change that we are bringing, that the hope and optimism that took each and every one of us into politics are a beacon through dark times, a light on the hill for the values that sustain us all. But Conference...
That there is Bridget Phillipson, Secretary of State for Education and also Women and Equality, talking about turning the tide on how working class children do at school. Well,